GreenGate Farms offers opportunities for individuals to connect with agriculture in a new way. GreenGate Farms is a great example of a sustainable farm that uses crop diversity in a beneficial way.
So, what's your name and what do you do at this farm?
So my name's Katie, and they call me Farmer Katie lovingly, which is nice. I've worked here for about 6 months, but I'm a manager here, so I mainly manage their CSA, which you guys learned about earlier, Community Supported Agriculture.
So why do certain crops grow in certain seasons?
So certain crops grow in different seasons because they have different requirements, and a lot of it has to do with temperature more than anything. So certain things aren't going to germinate, right? If you put a seed in soil and it's something like squash, and you might have to check my math on this, but it's not going to grow it's definitely not going to grow if it's like 40 degrees outside. You know, squash is a summer plant, so it has to have temperatures that are above, 60. The soil needs to be above 60 or maybe 70, and it needs to be warmer outside. And then some seeds will germinate fine. Spinach will germinate fine when it's like 40 degrees outside, and you put the seed in soil, it's going to pop right out and it's going to grow fine. And some plants, some plants can't handle any cold. Some plants are slightly frost tolerant. Some plants are totally frost tolerant, and they'll actually overwinter. So you can have snow piled on them, and the next, once the snow melts away, they'll grow back. So it mostly has to do just with temperature and the kind of varieties that fit within the seasons here.
So what are some other examples of plants that are particular?
So we grow all sorts of different plants in different seasons, and all of our planning has to do with seasonality, right? So we have different CSAs. We have a spring CSA that kind of melts into a summer CSA, then we have a fall, and we have a winter. And each one of those has generally different crops growing in them because of their requirements for growing. So like in the summer, we're growing a lot of squash, we're growing a lot of tomatoes, we're growing okra, we're growing some sorts of beans and melons and stuff like that. And that's just what grows the best and can withstand that heat. Peppers grow a lot of peppers. And then you kind of melt into fall, and fall is really beautiful time in Central Texas because you can grow almost anything. You can grow a lot of the summer stuff early, and then you start getting all your greens in. So here we have a bunch of kale, we have a bunch of lettuce, we have mustard greens, we have different types of like Chinese greens, Asian greens, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff growing right now, like a bigger diversity. And winter, you kind of see like the lettuce go over, and you can grow a lot of root crops, radishes and turnips. And now we're planting things like onions and different alliums, garlic and stuff, and those are going to be another 6 months before we even harvest them, right? So there's all this planning that goes into a CSA as far as what fits in the season and how long is it going to take to harvest, and when are we actually going to be able to sell that produce. So
well, thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to meet you.
You too.
A sustainable farm is a farm that uses the principles of ecology to produce their crops. GreenGate Farms is a great example of a farm that uses all of its natural resources to their benefit.
An industrial farm is best characterized by a dense population of crops raised on limited land and requiring large amounts of food, water, and artificial additives. In industrial farms, both animals and crops are grown year-round with unnatural conditions. Animals and crops are also grown solely for industrial use.
We hope that this video was helpful in telling you the difference between sustainable and industrial farming. We would also like to thank GreenGate Farms for allowing us the opportunity to come and visit their amazing, awesome farm.